To the sensitive souls who have stumbled upon this message today, please stop for just a moment. Take a deep breath. There is a profound reason you are here right now. Your intuition, that quiet, persistent voice echoing in the background of your mind, has not been wrong. For weeks, maybe even months, you have been carrying an invisible exhaustion that no amount of sleep can cure. You have been wondering if you are simply overthinking, if your mind is playing tricks on you, or if you are being too demanding. But I am here to tell you with absolute certainty, you are not imagining things, and you are not going crazy. What you are experiencing right now is not a flaw in your character. It is a highly attuned internal alarm system. You have been feeling a subtle, yet undeniable, drain on your energy whenever you think about, or are in the presence of, a specific person. It is a heaviness that settles in your chest, a quiet tension that makes you feel like you are walking on eggshells, even when everything appears perfectly calm on the surface. You have tried to rationalize it, pushing aside the discomfort because your kind heart wants to see the best in them. But your spirit knows what your logic is trying to deny. That relentless fatigue you feel? It is your soul working overtime to protect you from an energy that is not meant for you. Please understand this. The fact that this video found its way to you today is not a random glitch in the algorithm. It is a deliberate, timely intervention. The universe operates in mysterious ways, often using the unlikeliest of messengers to reach us when we are on the verge of losing our own light. If you are watching this, it is because you are being gently but firmly pulled back from the edge of a dynamic that will only continue to consume your peace. You are being asked to listen, not to the loud, chaotic opinions of the world, but to that gentle warning placed deep within your heart. Do not scroll past this, because this is the validation you have been silently praying for. The universe is actively trying to separate you from someone, not to punish you, but to save you. And the first step to your freedom is simply acknowledging that your inner compass is, and always has been, pointing you toward the truth. Let us talk about the person you are thinking of right now. Yes, the very one whose name or face instantly surfaced in your mind the moment this video began. If someone were to look at this person from the outside, they might not understand your struggle. On paper, they might seem perfectly fine. They might be charming, articulate, or appear deeply caring to the rest of the world. In fact, when you try to explain your discomfort to your friends or family, you often find yourself struggling to find the right words. Their actions, when isolated, seem entirely harmless to a logical mind. But up close, in the quiet, unseen spaces between their words, something feels fundamentally misaligned. You know this feeling intimately. It is the subtle, punishing silence they use when things do not go their way, a cold, calculated withdrawal that forces you to constantly guess what you did wrong. It is the backhanded compliments, wrapped beautifully in tiny, sharp criticisms, leaving you questioning your own worth while they effortlessly maintain their innocent facade. It is the way the very atmosphere in a room subtly shifts the moment they walk in, suddenly feeling heavy, restrictive, and suffocating. Without even realizing it, you find yourself carefully filtering your thoughts, monitoring your tone of voice, and shrinking your own radiant light just to keep the peace. You are constantly walking on eggshells, desperately trying not to trigger an unspoken tension that only you seem to notice. You replay conversations in your head for hours, analyzing every word, apologizing for things you did not do, simply to alleviate the suffocating pressure they create. They possess an uncanny ability to make you feel like you are the difficult one, flipping the narrative so seamlessly that you end up comforting them for the very boundaries you tried to set. Please, hear this clearly. You are not being overly critical, and you are not imagining this dynamic. What your spirit is detecting is the vast, hidden gap between their external mask and their internal reality. Your soul speaks the ancient language of energy, and energy simply cannot lie. Even when their words say, "I care about you," their presence feels like a quiet anchor, pulling you steadily beneath the surface. Think about how your physical body reacts when their name flashes on your phone screen. Does your stomach drop? Does your chest tighten? Does a wave of unexplainable exhaustion wash over you before the interaction has even begun? Your body is a highly intelligent receiver, translating emotional and spiritual data that your logical brain is still trying to justify. But why does this happen? Why do you feel so thoroughly drained after a simple 10-minute conversation with them? It is because you are dealing with an invisible emotional siphon, someone who unconsciously feeds off the vitality of others. This is not about them being malicious monsters, rather, it is about profound, unhealed wounds. They are carrying a tremendous amount of internal chaos, fear, and insecurity, but they have refused to do the difficult work of healing themselves. Instead of facing their own shadows, they unconsciously seek out radiant, empathetic, and sensitive people. People exactly like you. They are drawn to your warmth, your compassion, and your endless willingness to listen. But they do not use your light to find their own way. They consume it. They use you as an emotional dumping ground. When they complain, project their fears, or subtly manipulate your kindness, they are transferring their heavy, stagnant energy onto you to temporarily soothe their own emptiness. Imagine trying to fill a cup that has a hole at the bottom. No matter how much love, patience, understanding, or time you pour into them, they will always remain empty, and you will inevitably run dry. You are not engaged in a relationship of mutual exchange. You are trapped in a silent transaction where you are the sole provider of emotional currency. You cannot heal someone who uses your energy as a bandage for wounds they refuse to look at. You have been carrying their heavy emotional baggage for so long that you have started confusing it with your own, but it is not yours to carry. It never was. Recognizing this unspoken truth is the very first step toward reclaiming your spirit. I know exactly what is happening in your mind right now. You are feeling a deep, persistent wave of guilt. As an empathetic, deeply caring soul, the very thought of distancing yourself from someone, especially someone who seems to be struggling, makes you feel incredibly selfish. You might be whispering to yourself, maybe I should try harder, or maybe they just need a little more time and understanding. You have been conditioned to believe that having a kind heart means offering unconditional, unlimited access to your energy. But that, my friend, is a dangerous illusion. Let us reframe this right now, in this very moment. Choosing to step away from a dynamic that slowly dismantles your spirit is not an act of cruelty. It is not selfishness, and it is certainly not a failure of your compassion. It is the activation of your most sacred self-defense mechanism. Think of it as a divine boundary being drawn around your soul. The universe is reminding you that your peace is far too precious to be sacrificed on the altar of someone else's unhealed trauma. Protecting your inner light is not just a choice, it is your primary spiritual responsibility. If you do not protect your own energy, you will eventually have nothing left to give to the people, the passions, and the divine purpose that actually deserve it. Before we go any further, I want you to pause and make a quiet, powerful commitment to yourself. If you have ever felt guilty for wanting to protect your own peace, if you have ever stayed way too long in a draining situation because you were afraid of being labeled the bad guy, I want you to type 1111 or write "I choose my peace" in the comments right now. Do not skip this small step. Let this simple action be a physical declaration that seals your intention. By typing those words or numbers, you are sending a clear signal to the universe that you are finally ready to prioritize your spiritual well-being over someone else's comfort. You are breaking the cycle. You see, releasing this person from your life does not require a dramatic, explosive confrontation. It does not require you to harbor bitterness, resentment, or a deep hatred toward them. In fact, holding on to anger only acts as an invisible chain, keeping your energy permanently tied to theirs. You are not being asked to hate them. You are simply being gently guided to love yourself enough to take a step back. You can wish them well. You can pray for their healing from afar. You can even hold love for them in your heart, while simultaneously recognizing that their frequency is no longer meant to intersect with yours. This is the beautiful art of silent forgiveness. It is the profound realization that you do not need to go to war with this person to protect yourself. You just need to quietly remove your energy from their battlefield. You are allowed to walk away with grace, knowing that true healing must come from within them, not from you bleeding yourself dry to keep them warm. What happens when you allow someone to continuously siphon your spiritual energy? It does not just leave you physically exhausted. Energy is the literal currency of the universe. When your frequency is constantly being drained and suppressed by toxic, one-sided dynamics, you unintentionally create a profound, invisible blockage in every other area of your life. Have you noticed how, lately, things just haven't been flowing smoothly? Your finances might feel incredibly stagnant. Opportunities seem to slip through your fingers at the last possible second, and a frustrating cloud of bad luck seems to hover over your career and personal goals. This is not a coincidence, and it is certainly not a punishment. Wealth, success, and abundance are simply frequencies. When you are energetically entangled with someone who vibrates at a frequency of lack, fear, and emotional chaos, they physically pull you out of alignment with your own natural prosperity. But what if you could instantly cut these invisible energetic cords and rewire your mind to magnetize wealth? A recently leaked, highly classified, CIA-backed document has just revealed a groundbreaking truth about how our brainwaves literally dictate our financial reality. Neuroscientists have uncovered a simple, 7-second daily ritual that actively reprograms the mind, shattering years of deep-rooted energetic blockages and instantly activating a powerful abundance response. Tested and verified by multiple, independent neuroscience labs, this strange, at-home method is helping ordinary people who were once drowning in debt and stress suddenly attract unexpected income, luxury lifestyles, and total financial freedom within days. However, because of the disruptive nature of this secret, the page sharing it keeps mysteriously disappearing. If you are ready to reclaim your power, do not hesitate. Click the link in the description and comments right now to discover this method before it is gone forever. Let us step back into the quiet space of your own mind. When the noise of the day fades, the distractions of the world fall away, and you are left completely alone with your thoughts in the dead of night. I know the intense, exhausting battle that takes place within you. You lie awake, staring into the dark, endlessly analyzing every single interaction. You mentally rewind conversations, trying to find a logical explanation for why this person makes you feel so entirely depleted, so chronically on edge. Your beautiful, empathetic mind immediately begins to search for the good in them, because that is simply who you are at your core. You try desperately to remember the moments when they were kind, the times they seemed genuinely vulnerable, or the fleeting, rare glimpses of the person you so deeply hope they can become. You tell yourself, they are just going through a hard time right now, or, if I can just be a little more patient, a little more understanding, a little more forgiving, things will eventually change. This is the hidden trap of a deeply compassionate heart. You possess a profound, almost magical ability to see the highest potential in people, but this exact gift often blinds you to the stark reality of who they are choosing to be in the present moment. And because of this, you enter a relentless cycle of severe self-doubt. You begin to question your own memories. You wonder if you are being too sensitive, too demanding, or if you are somehow the one secretly causing the friction. The cognitive dissonance is absolutely exhausting. One day, you are absolutely certain that you need to walk away to protect your sanity, and the very next day, a single kind word or a pitiful excuse from them pulls you right back into the illusion, causing you to erase all your hard-earned boundaries and start from zero all over again. But I need you to hear this truth, and I need it to anchor deep within your spirit. Your empathy is a miraculous gift to the world, but it becomes a lethal weapon against your own soul when you offer it to someone who uses it merely to avoid their own accountability. It is time to release a crushing burden you were never meant to carry. Somewhere along your journey, perhaps in childhood, or perhaps through the accumulated pain of past relationships, you internalized a very dangerous, silent belief. You convinced yourself that it is your job to save broken people. You believed that the sheer force of your love, your endless patience, and your self-sacrifice could be the cure for someone else's deeply rooted trauma. But listen to me carefully. You were not born to be a rehabilitation center for individuals who refuse to heal themselves. You are a living, breathing human being, not a spiritual sponge designed by the universe to absorb the toxic runoff of someone else's emotional storms. When you constantly step in to soothe their chaos, to fix their self-created mistakes, to absorb their unprovoked anger, or to translate their hurtful actions into something acceptable, you are actually depriving them of the very catalyst they need to grow. By constantly shielding them from the natural consequences of their unhealed wounds, you are keeping them exactly where they are. True healing is a solitary, internal journey. It requires a person to look directly into their own darkness and make the conscious decision to seek the light. No matter how brightly you shine, no matter how much of yourself you set on fire to keep them warm, you cannot illuminate a room for someone who is determined to keep their eyes tightly shut. Your only true responsibility in this universe, your most sacred and non-negotiable assignment, is to protect your own light. Think of your energy as a rare, fragile, and incredibly precious flame. When you allow this person to continuously blow their cold winds of drama, manipulation, and negativity toward you, your flame flickers, weakens, and threatens to die out entirely. You are not helping them by letting them extinguish your fire. You are only plunging both of you into darkness. Give yourself full permission, right in this very second, to resign from the exhausting role of the savior. Let go of the fantasy that your endless sacrifice will eventually be rewarded with their sudden, miraculous transformation. It will not. Their journey is theirs alone to walk, and it is time for you to finally return to your own. So, how do you actually walk away? The mind often tricks us into believing that letting go requires a monumental, dramatic event. We think there needs to be a loud argument, a theatrical slamming of doors, or a long, exhausting, tear-filled conversation where you lay out all your grievances and demand the closure you deserve. But true closure does not come from an apology from the other person. It is a quiet, resolute decision made entirely within the sovereign walls of your own heart. You are now stepping into the profound psychological mastery of the silent withdrawal. The art of silent letting go means creating an invisible, impenetrable distance without ever needing to raise your voice or explain yourself. It begins in the quiet corridors of your mind. It starts the exact moment you consciously decide to stop expecting them to be someone they have proven they are not. When you completely drop the expectation that they will finally understand you, that they will eventually apologize, or that they will one day validate your feelings, you instantly and permanently cut the energetic cord that feeds their power over you. You do not need to announce your departure to them. You simply stop reacting. When they throw out a manipulative comment designed to make you feel guilty, instead of rushing to defend yourself and tumbling into their chaos, you meet it with utter, unshakable stillness. You observe their behavior rather than absorbing it. You become an impenetrable emotional fortress. You stop offering your precious, vibrant emotional energy to their manufactured drama. You may answer them politely, but you no longer offer the deep, tender parts of your soul. You stop initiating the long, draining conversations. You stop volunteering to fix their crises. This emotional withdrawal is not an act of cruelty or malice. It is the ultimate, most beautiful act of self-respect. It is the realization that your presence is a highly valuable privilege, and access to your inner world requires a level of respect, consistency, and reciprocity that this person is simply unable to provide. You are slowly, gently retracting your energy, pulling it back into your own center where it belongs. Over time, as you stop feeding the dynamic with your reactions and your care, the connection will naturally wither. You will watch them fade into the background of your life, not with burning anger, but with a calm, quiet, and profound acceptance. As you absorb these words, I want you to tune into your physical body for a moment. Notice how your shoulders might be dropping slightly away from your ears. Notice how the breath in your lungs might feel just a fraction deeper, a little less constricted, a little more free. That is the feeling of your spirit recognizing the absolute truth. It is the profound, overwhelming relief of finally giving yourself the permission to put your own emotional survival first. You do not have to carry their weight for one more second. If you feel a sense of relief spreading in your chest right now, if you feel a heavy, invisible chain finally unlatching from your soul, I want you to type 777 in the comments. Let this be your physical signature on the contract of your own liberation. Let it be the exact moment you officially surrender the illusion of control and fully embrace the quiet, unshakable power of letting go. Now that you have released the crushing burden of trying to save them, we must talk about the most profoundly misunderstood concept in human relationships: your right to set internal boundaries. For a very long time, you have operated under the exhausting, people-pleasing belief that setting a boundary requires an argument, a justification, or a mutual agreement. You subconsciously thought that if you wanted to step back, you needed to present a perfectly logical case to the other person, complete with evidence of your pain, desperately hoping they would validate your feelings and grant you the permission to leave. But let me tell you a profound secret about true psychological and spiritual power. You do not owe anyone a perfectly articulated presentation on why their presence is draining your spirit. You do not need a signed permission slip from the person who is hurting you in order to walk away. You have the absolute, sovereign right to simply say no, to create vast emotional distance, and to protect your energy without offering a single word of explanation to someone who has never tried to understand your perspective in the first place. When you stop trying to explain your boundaries to people who are committed to misunderstanding you, you instantly reclaim an immense amount of power. Your silence is not a punishment, it is a shield. Your refusal to engage in their chaotic, circular arguments is not a sign of weakness or defeat. It is the ultimate demonstration of your emotional maturity. As you begin to honor this silent, internal boundary, something extraordinary starts to happen. It is a phenomenon rooted deeply in both behavioral psychology and the laws of energetic frequency. You are about to experience a massive shift in your reality. Imagine your life as a radio station. For a long time, you have been tuned into a frequency of self-doubt, over-accommodation, and emotional exhaustion. Because you were broadcasting on that lower level, you naturally attracted and tolerated people who resonated with that exact same chaotic frequency. But right now, simply by recognizing your inherent worth and making the firm decision to protect your peace, you are turning the dial. You are elevating your conscious awareness. When you raise your frequency, the people who were feeding off your lower, accommodating energy will suddenly find that they can no longer survive in your orbit. They will become intensely uncomfortable around your new, grounded stillness. They might try to pull you back down, throwing small tests your way, acting out, or trying to provoke your guilt. But because you are no longer reacting, because you are simply observing them from a place of deep inner peace, they will eventually drift away. You will not even have to forcefully push them out of your life. The universe will naturally filter them out. They will fall away like dead leaves from a healthy tree, making way for new growth. You do not have to fight the darkness, you just have to turn on the light, and the shadows will disappear on their own. I want you to look back at everything you have felt throughout this ordeal. The exhaustion, the confusion, the heavy energy. The world has often told you that your deep sensitivity is a tragic flaw. They told you that you take things too personally, that you are too soft for this harsh world, and that you need to grow a thicker skin. Do not ever let them convince you that your sensitivity is a weakness. Your sensitivity is not a vulnerability. It is a highly sophisticated, divine armor. It is a built-in psychological radar system designed to detect manipulation, hidden motives, and misaligned energy before it can destroy your life. Yes, it hurts deeply when you first realize someone's true intentions, but that pain is simply the alarm bell ringing to save you from years of future heartbreak. This entire experience was not a punishment, and it was not sent to break you. It was a rigorous, necessary training ground. It was the universe teaching you how to wield your empathy, not as a sponge to absorb other people's toxic waste, but as a sword to cut through their illusions. You are stepping entirely out of the role of the perpetual victim and rising as the conscious master of your own reality. You are cultivating an unshakable stillness within your core. From this day forward, you will never again hand the remote control of your emotions to someone who does not have your best interests at heart. You will walk into rooms and instantly know who is meant to be in your life and who is meant to be observed from a safe distance. You will no longer second-guess the quiet, protective voice inside your chest. This level of self-mastery brings a peace that is so profound, it is almost intimidating to those who still live in chaos. You are becoming a person who cannot be manipulated by guilt, cannot be controlled by fear, and cannot be drained by those who refuse to heal themselves. You are standing fully in your authentic power, and no one can ever take that away from you again. When you finally clear the heavy toxic energy from your life, an incredible phenomenon occurs. The universe abhors a vacuum. The moment you empty your energetic space of chaos, manipulation, and self-doubt, that exact space is immediately flooded with a rush of new opportunities, profound peace, and untethered financial prosperity. You are no longer vibrating at a frequency of emotional survival. You have finally leveled up to the frequency of pure abundance. This is precisely when you are most primed to receive. But to truly unlock the floodgates of wealth that have been blocked by your past connections, you must actively align your brain's frequency with this new, elevated reality. Remember the leaked, CIA-backed research I mentioned earlier, the simple 7-second brainwave ritual. This is where it becomes your ultimate tool for transformation. By spending just a few seconds a day activating this specific abundance response in your mind, you can permanently seal your energetic leaks and turn yourself into a powerful magnet for wealth. Thousands of ordinary people who once felt as stuck, drained, and exhausted as you did have used this exact at-home method to manifest dream careers, unexpected financial windfalls, and a lifestyle of total freedom within mere days. It is the final, crucial step in your complete spiritual and material rebirth. Do not let this newfound clarity and high vibrational state go to waste. The window of opportunity to access this life-changing information is closing rapidly, and the private page revealing this secret ritual could be removed from the internet without a moment's warning. Take absolute control of your financial destiny today. Click the link in the description and the pinned comment right now to discover the 7-second method before it disappears and step fully into the abundant life you so deeply deserve. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, and before you even open your eyes, you notice something profoundly different. The heavy, suffocating weight that used to sit squarely on your chest is completely gone. Your mind is no longer racing with imaginary arguments or desperate attempts to decode someone else's hidden motives. The air in your room feels lighter, your breathing is deep and effortless, and for the first time in a very long time, you feel a genuine, quiet excitement for the day ahead. This is not a distant fantasy. This is the exact reality you are stepping into right now by choosing to protect your own energy. The toxic dynamics that once drained your spirit are rapidly fading into the background, becoming nothing more than a closed chapter in your past, a necessary masterclass that taught you how to recognize your own worth. You are no longer a passenger in your own life. You are finally in complete control of your energetic frequency and the environment you allow yourself to exist in. As you move forward into this beautiful new chapter, I want you to make a solemn promise to yourself. Promise that you will never again ignore the quiet, powerful voice of your own intuition. That subtle feeling in your gut, the sudden drop in your stomach, or the inexplicable wave of exhaustion you feel around certain people. These are not signs of weakness, and they are not symptoms of overthinking. They are the universe's most profound gift of protection. Your intuition is a divine compass, perfectly calibrated to keep your soul safe from harm. Whenever that compass speaks, trust it instantly. You do not need hard evidence, you do not need other people's validation, and you certainly do not need to wait until you are completely broken to justify walking away from a misaligned situation. Your inner knowing is always enough. Honor it, nurture it, and let it fiercely guide you toward the people, opportunities, and places that genuinely celebrate your light rather than consuming it. You have survived the confusion. You have navigated the exhausting labyrinth of self-doubt, and now you are emerging on the other side with an unshakable sense of self-mastery. You are no longer available for one-sided connections, emotional manipulation, or chaotic environments. You have built a fortress of peace around your heart, and its walls are lined with self-love, clarity, and unbreakable silent boundaries. You are not just healing, you are ascending. You are stepping into the most radiant, abundant, and peaceful era of your entire life, where your energy is finally your own again. If you feel this profound shift happening within your soul right now, if you are fully prepared to leave the heaviness behind and embrace this glorious new chapter, I want you to claim it. Type, "I am ready," or 999 in the comments below to lock in this high vibration and signal to the universe that you are stepping into your radiant era of peace. If this message brought you the clarity and comfort you have been searching for, please subscribe to this channel to stay connected to this frequency and share this video with someone who might need this gentle reminder today. You are safe, you are guided, and your peace is fully protected. Welcome to your beautiful new beginning.